Well, hello and welcome to your Inner Circle call today with Bob Proctor. Today we are going to study a lesson from The Power of Awareness. It is chapter 14, The Effortless Way. If Bob opens for questions, you can virtually raise your hand and I'll bring you on live, or you can submit your question using the Q&A feature on your Zoom toolbar. So Bob, I'm all ready to start if you are.
Bob's all ready to start. Why don't we do it?
Let's do it.
Great. Everybody has the effortless way. I had a very early start this morning. I was up at 3:30. This getting up early is for other people, I think. But at any rate, and oddly enough, I made myself a bowl of soup and I picked up my favorite book and I started to read this. Now, I've read this many, many times. I don't know what it was. It just resonated a little different today, and I thought, I'm going to do this in the inner circle today. The inner circle is, what do you study? When do you study? Well, it's not 3:30 in the morning. It's a little later than that, but possibly not where you are. So let's look at this. The effortless way. I think that sort of appeals to something inside of us, doesn't it? The effortless way. Let's look at it. The principle of least action governs everything in the physics, from the path of a planet to the path of a pulse of light. Least action is the minimum of energy multiplied by the minimum of time. Therefore, in moving from your present state to the state desired, you must use the minimum of energy and take the shortest possible time. Your journey from one state of consciousness to another is a psychological one. So to make the journey, you must employ the psychological equivalent of least action. And the psychological equivalent is mere assumption. Now play with that for a few minutes. It's assumption. Hold on. In another chapter, he says, the assumption of the wish fulfilled is the ship that carries you over the unknown seas to the fulfillment of your dream. The assumption is everything. Realization is subconscious and effortless. Act on the assumption that you already possess that which you sought. Now, some people say, well, that's absurd. I was talking to Robert Pascuzzi here just a few minutes ago, actually, and he read something that from a book he was reading that I found rather interesting. He said, most people are looking and weighing things up on a physical level. And he said, for those who operate on a spiritual level, it looks like children playing. You see, what you see on the physical level is something that's already happened. It's already manifest. It's gone through a lawful process. The lawful process is a perpetual law of transmutation. Energy always moving into form, through form, back into form. You always work from the higher to lower potential, from spirit to intellect to the physical. Well, why do we start with the physical? Because we have been programmed to do that. Let's look at this again. The principle of least action. See, I have found by reading a thing over maybe 50 times, little clicks will start to take place inside. The principle of least action governs everything in physics, from the path of a planet to the path of a pulse of light. Least action is the minimum of energy multiplied by the minimum of time. Just that, it sort of appeals to you as you read it. Therefore, in moving from your present state to the state desired, you must use the minimum of energy and take the shortest possible time. Your journey from one state of consciousness to another is a psychological one. So to make your journey, you must employ the psychological equivalent of least action. And the psychological equivalent is mere assumption. Now let's keep going. The day you fully realize the power of assumption, you discover that it works in complete conformity with this principle. It works by means of attention minus effort. Thus, with least action, through an assumption, you hurry without haste. Reach your goals without effort. Now read this line and let it sink in. Because creation is finished, what you desire already exists. Now, what are we taught? We're taught Spirit's omnipresent, Spirit's all-knowing, Spirit's all-powerful, and Spirit is neither created nor destroyed. The creation is done. Everything's already here. We just have to raise our level of consciousness until we can see it. I hope you enjoyed this video. We put a lot of good information up here, and it causes everything in your life to get better. If you'd like us to notify you every time we put a new video up, hit subscribe and then turn on notification. Check out all our videos, and we will notify you when we put a new one up.